States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone.
That was good. That was the best one.
I started it.
I was following Don.
Okay, so now we have the approval of the agenda. We have one thing to add to the agenda, and that is summer help. So that will be added to the agenda. Anything else to add to the agenda? Okay, so approval agenda is done. Okay, next is approve the January 8th, 2024 meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to review those?
Yep, I move to approve.
Second. Questions, comments? Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Okay. Now we have year-end financials. Chelsea?
This printed one that I gave you guys is more of the updated one than the cash report. Every year we have to publish these into the paper by March 1st, so this is what I will be sending to the paper to be published.
Okay. Are there any questions on the year-end financials? I know it's a little different than what you had sent out, but I think you had said some of the things are not on this one.
Yeah, I adjusted a couple things that I knew needed to be moved, and then the cash report that prints out, it shows the payroll clearing, 2 clearing accounts that are just clearing funds that go out, so they're just...
And the 402,000 isn't out of the 1 cent yet for the street project.
That is correct,
Okay.
Yep. That'll get moved after everything, we get rolling again with this.
Okay.
Okay.
But these tie to what our bank statements are.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions on this?
Yeah, I do. How come mine's the lowest of the 4?
It has to do with deductions.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
You didn't give me a reduced salary because I talk so much, did you?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think you missed a meeting or something.
Yep, it has to do with how people file claims, all that.
Or
Yep.
deduction?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's all.
Okay,
We
need
can
a
adjust theirs if needed.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second?
Any further discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, now the January financials. Anybody have any questions on those?
Nope. Can order. I'll move to be approved.
Second?
Okay, we have motion and second. Any further discussion? Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Masonic Honor Banquet, Mr. Matt Beaudry.
Yes.
Come on up.
I do that for a fee waiver for our Lions Carnival.
Masonic Banquet.
What?
Masonic Banquet?
The Masonic Banquet and the Lions Carnival.
Oh, we only have,
Oh, you only have one of them?
oh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
No, it's just the Masonic banquet for this. The Lions
Yeah, this is-
Carnival has already been filed.
Oh,
Okay.
it's already been filed.
Yep,
Okay.
that one was done, December's meeting, I think it was. So it's just Masonic Honor Banquet.
Yeah. This one's just for the.
Just for the honor banquet. The honor banquet, of course, we've done that for a lot of years. And we're getting help with the Lions, from the Lions Club to do it anymore. We have enough information to pull it off, but it's a nice deal. These kids get up there and they're all dressed nice and they get an award, and we serve 300 kids in about 40 to 20 minutes.
Oh, it is a nice deal. My kids were there. Definitely. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Pete's got some kids there too, but it's been wait a while.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Further discussion?
Nope.
Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. There you go,
Very
Matt.
good, thank you.
Thanks,
for
Matt.
coming.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
In now.
Okay.
Cheer loud.
Yeah.
The next is a remote fees committee waiver of fees. The May 31st through June 2nd, and must be annual riverboat days, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My only, I guess, question on here that this afternoon that I thought of, she has on here weather depending, but I don't know if they plan on having the kids games in there in the afternoon like they typically do every year, or if it's just so they have, but regardless, I mean, they have it rented for the weekend.
So whether it's a backup plan for everything or whether
Yeah.
Okay.
It does say though, under weather permitting, that is under will alcohol be served? You know, so I'm guessing there won't be alcohol if the street dance is outside.
Right.
Street dance is inside, that's where the weather permitting comes in, where the alcohol would be, I'm guessing.
That would make sense.
Yeah, because that's what it's under, so.
Yeah, because then they'd have to serve it in there if it had to be moved inside
Right,
with
right.
their way it's written.
I see no problem.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second. Further discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Riverboat Days Committee raffle permit. And this would, says May 1st, that must be when they're drawing, right?
Yeah, and then they have the whole list of everything for the raffle.
Oh, are they drawing on May 1st or are they starting it on May 1st?
They are doing the drawing on May 1st.
Okay, the drawing's on May 1st, so they would start selling right away, I'm guessing.
Yeah, after they can get them, they get their gaming permit number and then get their tickets printed.
Yeah, it looks like a nice list of prizes. Wow, $5,300. Any motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Further discussion? Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Forestry Board appointment.
Can I just say one thing, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, you may.
Okay, on Forestry Board, there's 3 out of the 5 have turned out. Their terms were up.
Okay,
So I'm on there because the commissioner, Bev Peterson was just put on, hers doesn't term out till, she was just put on in February 23. So there is a possibility of a one more opening that we just need to check into. But we do have 2 openings for sure.
okay,
So there may be another one coming up, in the near future. So,
okay,
but we just need to do a little research on that one.
sure.
So yeah, just for some
Okay.
information purposes.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
So, Carla Klein, would like to be reappointed and Cody Meadows
Yeah.
would like to be appointed.
Can we do them both together?
Yeah.
Okay, I would so move that we would reappoint Carla Klein and newly appoint Cody Meadows.
I second?
Any discussion on that? Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, so we have quotes, Specialty Lock and Warren's Lock. Chelsea, you can probably explain this better?
Yes, so we got 2 different quotes. This is looking to simplify the inside doors at the Memorial Hall, especially with the basement keys not working or masters rekeying and half of them not working. And to make it easier, we looked at rekeying so that if somebody wanted to rent the dining room and the kitchen, it would be 1 key, or then we could have separate keys for just that if they're renting just that. But then instead of having 3 keys for the kitchen, the cleaning, and the dining, it would be 1 key that could work together, specific to what their needs are for renting those. And then we would have 1, or like the masters over here, and then additional keys to go around. The 25, there's 2 different quotes, pretty much similar, but a little bit different. We have worked with Specialty Lock in the past. He is the one that fixes our door all the time when it quits working, like now. Very personable, good to work with. We had just looked up another one with Warren's. He came up and did the estimate. Was fine. We just have more of already have a relationship kind of more with Bill, and he's very knowledgeable.
I kind of see the DND keys, oh, do not, whatever. So it's like 21 keys, and this guy has 25 keys. So if we're doing 8 locks, and then we get 25 keys, so it says 2 each. Oh, what is that? 2 each US by 3P. Oh, those must be master locks?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, that makes sense now. Do you have a preference?
I
Thing
guess
is-
I would probably just say going with specialty lock, as we've used him quite a bit and he comes up and has helped out or answers any questions we have if for the door, especially that east door that isn't working, and he's actually currently fixing that again right now. That's why it's out of service. And we've worked with him and he's pretty good to us. So I guess if I had to pick, I would continue to go with him for business.
Yeah, it says this one guy is rekeying 7 and the other one is doing 8. Not sure.
I guess I'm just wondering about the stamping. Does specialty lock stamp them as well? Just
Yes.
for keeping track.
Yes.
It just wasn't listed, so.
Yep.
Okay. Just because it's listed on the other one.
Okay.
Because if we ever would need one or lose it, they have it all on file that they could just make a new one and
Right.
down there too. So yeah.
So all 25 keys would be master keys then?
No. We would have some for masters for here, but then, yeah, like not everybody would get a master key. It would be like we would have a master key, but if you needed to rent like 2 different rooms or like the dining room, the kitchen, I guess, or the cleaning room is the biggest thing, then they would have 1 key versus 3 separate keys.
Yeah.
So they can cater to like kind of the needs of how Erica explained it a lot of how we wanted them to work.
Then we don't have so many keys, right? You know, everybody has
Yeah,
so many keys.
and half of those that we have don't work in our file cabinet. We're trying to
It's a mess.
simplify that key cabinet and then get rid of stuff that we know we don't need. Or if we do need a new key and we get one remade, half the time it doesn't work. And we
this
don't
is-
even know where the masters are.
And this is strictly for the Memorial Hall.
Yes.
I like the fact that one person is doing the whole lock system in the whole building
Mhm.
too. You know, so I will move that we go with specialty lock.
I'll second it.
Comments, discussion?
Nope.
Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. NRG.
This print is kind of funny. So we've been having, where's Adam in here? We do not have Wi-Fi currently in here now ever since we switched from West River from Midco to West River. West River cannot supply the Wi-Fi, and it has to do with our firewall that we have from connecting in and out. And I've talked to NRG like 3 different times, and I talked to 2 different techs for West River. I don't understand networking, but from the best, what he could tell me is typically the IT people can supply it so that we'd have a hotspot over here, pinpoint, so that we can have Wi-Fi over here, and one in the office, and it has to do with the wire and how it's connecting from our firewall and being ran over here. This quote includes a new sonic wall. I believe the one in the office is over 5 years old. And then the access points is the one-time thing that'd be installed in here and one in the office. And then they manage it as well and then update the equipment as it goes instead of just having, I believe it's just like a box currently that was bought, Adam, for Wi-Fi that is now being fed for we had Wi-Fi previously.
We have 2 individual routers that we use right now, wireless routers.
Okay. So this is just putting it more onto,
And this would change from 2 to something different or what?
There'd be more. There'd be another one in here, and then a replacement one for the office is what I'm understanding.
Correct.
The same one will still be in the shop. Wi-Fi signal doesn't go through concrete very well, and that's where our problem is. So when Eric was here and he had problems connecting with his laptop, it's because it's 2 walls away under somebody's desk.
It's nice to have Wi-Fi in there.
Yeah.
I mean, the more meetings we have here, it seems like,
If we're gonna be doing them on a PD like that.
Yeah.
those guys.
So do we have a terminal plug-in for laptops in here?
There will be as a part
There
of it.
isn't right now.
No.
I mean, in this room.
For hardwire connection? No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
So you're thinking this is the way to go?
Easier for us that way.
if we want Wi-Fi.
Wow, we could do it, but it's, this is, they take care of it, it's just easier for us.
Yeah, because that day that you were using your hotspot in here, we were really limited what we could do.
Yeah, I had to connect with my hotspot to get it so we can, it dropped the call at one time.
Yep.
So if you put Wi-Fi in each one of these rooms, you'd have a different telephone access to that Wi-Fi then? The way it normally works?
Remember the same password and stuff, but it's just a new transmitter, you could say.
And they can do it so that there is a guest Wi-Fi login as well, so they wouldn't have the same login that like us city employees could use, just to have it different.
If Cat 5 or Cat 6 got run from there to the different rooms, would that change anything versus this where you had a hardwired connection into the room and then go to a Wi-Fi signal?
I think their plan is to run a hardwire in, and then Wi-Fi with the option to tap out hardwire connections to a table, to a laptop, or whatever.
Yeah, because they looked how they could run it from over there over into here.
Yep.
Right now, we don't have anything connected to the screen up there then, correct?
Just cable.
Just cable,
I guess
but-
we don't have cable anymore, but yeah.
Okay.
We have a HDMI cable, I guess, but that's, you know, just.
Right, I need something connected to the internet or anything.
No.
Okay.
So is there a monthly fee or a yearly fee on this, or?
The thing for one of our monthly fees on that bill that we have in there for energy, I think it's like $58. That's going to drop it down to like $13 by going with this, because updating the Sonic wall has to do with that monthly fee of dropping that one down. So it would decrease our monthly bill just a tiny bit. And these are all one-time fee. I mean, it's a rather large amount, but then it's all secured and on their network. They maintain it. They cover it, I guess.
Energy's been pretty good to us.
They are.
They're really good to us.
So as the routers change, they usually change out routers as they upgrade them. Would that include upgraded routers as well then? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just asking.
Yep.
Is it something we could ask them before we do this? Okay.
I guess I would like to see us just go with it and then conditional that, you know, how that turns out. I mean, if it's something that's gonna cost us, you know, $2,600 every 2 years, then it's kinda, you know, whatever, but maybe they switch them, I don't know. But you know, the thing is with routers though, they, so this Sonic wall, is that actually, is Sonic wall an actual router? Or is it a?
It's a firewall.
It's firewall, it's not a router though, per se.
It's probably a switch, but yeah, it's not a wireless router, no.
Was it like a contract or something like in the, because there's a PDF and this is just like the screenshot of the receipt or whatever, in that proposal up at the top, like in that PDF where it says like I accept the above conditions and that sort of stuff. Maybe I'd have the answers to some of these questions, I guess, but I guess I don't know.
This is the PDF.
There was nothing more than this?
No.
I think Don's got a point, we can wait another month, I think, let's find out the answer.
Yep.
And, see what they have to say about that. That way we know all the information.
Yep. Instead of putting a condition.
Right, yeah, exactly, and
Yep.
then, because you do the condition, and then, that gets all balled up, so.
So they didn't have any like descriptions or anything of like what network management would entail or anything like that, or? Because they're including it, and we'd be like, well, what's the value of that, you know? But,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, because we pay a monthly fee already for network management. It's included on our monthly bills.
Oh, so they'd be just transferring that already managed thing onto this then?
Yeah, I think, is the energy bill readily available in that stack?
Here you go. Whoops.
That's quite an expensive bill when you look at it. What do you?
Yeah, but it's only one thing.
Right.
If it's a one.
It says, network management subtotal is $35. And that's reoccurring, it says $35 is reoccurring. But is that a month or is that?
That's the monthly fee.
But then the other one would drop lower.
Right, I think it's 75 right now, but
Oh. Why don't we just put this on hold and we'll get all the information next month?
Yep.
Let's just do that and then,
Just put it on the agenda for next
I mean,
month.
we can sit here for a half hour discussing this.
Yeah.
I think we should
okay,
do
so
that.
what exactly do you want
You
what
table it,
exactly
gotta
do you
bring it
want
up.
answered?
We just put it on.
Oh, okay. Just give Chelsea and Adam exactly what you're looking for for information. Yeah.
Additional routers if they become, oh, how should I say, obsolete,
Will they upgrade it?
upgrade them. Upgraded routers.
And what would be the cost and stuff like that, or they
Right.
just do it with the maintenance fee or whatever. So,
And then did they say how many connections are we gonna get then?
Connections as for what?
I know what you mean.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, sometimes you can connect so many on the system. Oh, you know. That makes sense.
Everything that we upgrade, we, like when we have to update our computers, we pay for them.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I would assume that the route, I mean, it's still the pay, you're gonna be paying for upgrading to get a new one.
Right, and I guess another thing is, you know, what's the expected lifespan of this equipment, you know, before it has to be changed out, so.
The Sonic Wall I know that we have in there is over 5 years old.
Yeah. They put that in when we had that crash.
The technology is changing all the time. So we can put this in tomorrow and then within a week have something new there, you know? The way things are going.
Okay, so we'll just, we'll just
Good.
give it on hold for now.
Put it on next month's agenda.
She's done right in there. Ready, Chelsea? Or?
Yep.
Okay, so the McLean Electric, the 200A streetlights, that's the streetlight, the 4 streetlights on the end of Main Avenue and 200A there. I did talk with MEC about taking them over. This little map that you have here shows 5 lights. The one that's kind of on its own there hasn't been working for years and years and years.
Yeah.
The state actually turned them over to us. Jamie, I think you replaced the lights in 16 or something. So anyway, what it's costing us for those right now is $89 a month. I talked to him about, you know, them taking them over. What we would do is we would, or what we talked about is we would just have 2 of them there, kind of one on each side of the intersection. We get rid of the other 2 that are further north up the street. I don't know why we need all those lights there. On the other intersections of that many lights, even on the Highway 83. So what they said was, and then I asked if we could just get a straight street light charge rather than paying the base charge. You know, you have a base charge with MEC, it's $46 every month. But you know, nice part is you get that back eventually.
Right.
So what they said was they would keep the base charge, but they would charge us $7.50 per light. So that'd be 2 lights. So that takes our bill down to $61 rather than $89. And what would happen is we would turn the lights over to them. They would own them. They would be responsible for them. They would take care of them. They would take out the other 3 poles. One of those light poles we would keep for ourselves because we really need a light down at the lagoon. So that's the proposal that they said they would do. So I think it's a good deal. They were out of the streetlight business totally, you know. And that's kind of what You know, we've been doing, especially with the auto tail lights, so
Which two lights on this printer would you be keeping?
we would keep the one on either side of the intersection, that one and that one.
Okay.
The intersection actually turns and comes like this, you know, it doesn't go like that, it turns. So there'd be one on each side.
And then get rid of those two and the one that's not working?
These two and the one that's not working, correct.
So it's 3 and 5. Well, that 5 got unhooked years ago because it was an overhead span. for the
Yes,
highway.
yes.
So are they gonna put that span back across the highway?
No, that would go away. The only two that would stay would be 3 and 4.
Oh, 3 and 4.
Yeah, yeah,
Because there's an otter tail light almost directly across from,
number 5.
yeah, and then a little bit down, which
Yeah.
brings light. You know, you go through Wilton and they have their intersection at Senex has 2 lights on the highway, and then the third one is actually where it goes in. And then their other 2 intersections just has 1 light on each intersection. If it's only $7, are you sure you wouldn't want to just keep all 4 there?
There's really no reason for the other 2 though. You know, you have one on each side of the intersection. You know, you go up by Senex, there's one on Senex side, that's all that's there. There's not even one on the county side, you know, heading on that road. I just don't see a need for them there.
Now, does the state have anything mounted on these poles, like their highway cameras or anything like that?
They belong to us,
Okay.
You're looking at 2 and 3, Larry?
3 and 4.
Or 3 and 4, okay, I'm sorry.
And you know, this intersection here doesn't actually go that way. It actually turns where number 5 is and goes straight across. You know, it turns and goes straight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not that big wide slope going out like that. You know, that was back when that was US Highway 83 going there.
Yep.
So that's why they probably had that nice big turn there.
Yep. Big winding turn up the hill.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we go with that.
Oh, second that?
Further discussion, anyone? Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I will get a hold of them. And we'll get that drawn up. Excuse me. I'm not contagious, by the way. Doctor told me so.
Have that in writing?
Yeah. We have Washburn Life membership. So that is, you know, if we want to be on continue to be a member of Washburn Life.
Are we committed to, as a city commission, to be on that particular
No,
committee?
no, we're not a committee, it's to be a member.
To be a member? Right.
I kind of have some concerns
Yeah,
about Washburn Life.
yeah, I guess my concern is that, what we've seen, I guess what I've, at this point, I couldn't vote to join Washburn Life because there are certain members of Washburn Life that instead of coming to a commissioners or coming to commission meeting, if they, if a direction was given to them that they didn't like, we were bashed on social media.
Yeah.
And that's really not working together for the betterment of the community. I know there's other Washburn Life members that have talked to me that are very concerned about that and just made it clear that wasn't us.
Yeah.
So I think until we get a better communication line between Washburn Life and the city of Washburn, you know, to break through those barriers so that we can work together as a team instead of what's happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think we, like I said, I would vote against it. It needs to be put on hold until those things can be worked through. Because it's not just a one incident, it's happened on several occasions, and that's, so I said I couldn't vote to join right now because of those until those things would be resolved and worked through.
I agree. Yeah, I agree
And
with
to
that.
see where the city's, what the city's responsibility, authority, and position is, you know, versus that. So I just think there's some issues there that have to be worked through first and haven't been. So that's just my opinion.
Very good. I agree.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure about the pricing either, because there's business, corporation, individual. I know it's $50 last year just for any member. Are we a corporation? Is that how it works? Should we be a business? Would we be a business?
I would see it as a business.
I guess it'd be up to them because it'd be their.
But yeah, I guess that was actually going to be my question as well, is what are their differential between a business and a corporation? I obviously know an individual, so I didn't know where we would fall on that too. That was actually
Who
one of my
would file
questions.
your taxes, like your S corp or
Yeah.
We don't think we're any of that. It's like
No.
Right.
Public entity, yeah.
But yeah.
Or would it be the number of employees we have?
No. It'd be tax filing status.
Yeah.
But
And that, yeah, I didn't know if that's how they were just basing it off of. If you were typically business, you still file as a S corp, or are you an LLC, or yeah, however that works. I didn't know. That was my main question.
I'd motion to vote no.
Your motion to not,
To not join.
okay,
I'll second that.
further discussion? Anybody? Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Pledge of Securities, something we do every year.
Every year, we get a form from, or document stating from True Community, and we just have to approve them, that they are as stated.
I move to approve the Pledge of Securities.
Second.
True Community Bank. Okay, we have motion second, discussion. Tim? Yes.
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 Yes. Cell phone allowance? Oh, she's writing. That's right.
I don't remember what month it was, back in 23, 22 maybe it even was. We have one employee currently on our city cell phone bill. One joined, one stayed on his own, and there was agreement to pay him, reimburse him, I guess, the monthly fee of what we pay for our two city employees, which is $50 a month for their plan. One has now since gone off and gone onto his own plan. So he was asked if he could go back with that reimbursement of the $50 too, being his is not covered, now being paid by the
So
city.
So you have one that's on the city plan,
Now. Yep,
and then you have one that's on their own plan and being reimbursed
correct.
50.
Yep.
And you have one that's requesting to do the same.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then I guess we had questions, if they're all on it, why there was a reason as to, Eric and I, if we could be on there as well with our cell phones being used just as much as theirs. For reasons that, I mean, that's just how people communicate. Or even when we're not at work, that's how people get a hold of us.
Yeah, I guess, just starting with the first thing, it would make sense that it would be equal in some respects, because just because you want to have people have access to the same allowances and that sort of thing. So I guess it wouldn't make sense to have some for others and some for him, and it's just kind of confusing to. I'm sure even on the bookkeeping side, it's like, oh, we're paying this bill because this bill came in, but then we're actually reimbursing him for this, and it's the same exact thing. It'd be much easier if it was just a single plan or whatever it may be. So I think, sorry, because there's two issues here. There's that issue, and then there's also the office issue. So maybe we could just handle the first one first, if that's okay, which would be trying to equal it out. I guess it'd be probably a good idea to say up to a certain amount, up to the 50. Because then someone can just go get like a $35 cell phone and then get $15 extra a month, which wouldn't be, you know what I mean? But then it'd be actually for a cell phone. It wouldn't be just like, here's $50 extra dollars.
Sure.
Right, you shouldn't make money on that.
Right. So it'd be up to, just in the wording of it or whatever.
I mean, I guess for right now, the way I look at it is, our public works guys, they're on the field, if they're in a water break, whatever, they obviously need their phones. Obviously like that, because they're already on the road, the office people spend most of the time in the office, but I get it, they do get, calls, at home and stuff like that. I think for right now, the way it's set up, at least in my opinion, is since our public works employees, have that benefit. I would like to see us, take that third member and actually put him on the reimbursement, and then look into the office help, kind of determine what kind of, usage that they actually do.
Okay, so would you want the looking into, would you want for this kind of was born out of HR, do you want HR to do to look into the possibility of the need for the office help also? I mean, I'm just wondering where you want to direct.
Yes,
that's all I'm asking.
I would leave that, I think HR is should be more the policy people that, work with the office help and work that out. Yeah.
How much usage do you use in a month?
Adam uses a lot, I know.
I'm talking to Adam.
Probably the least out of everybody. I couldn't tell you honestly off the top of my head.
So do you go beyond the limit?
I will say that my cell phone,
The city pays it.
Yeah, I know.
my cell phone itself, I mostly use it at work.
You only have one cell phone then, correct?
Yes.
So I would, if you're going this, if we can, I think someone said, let's handle the thing with the field first.
Right.
Yeah. So I would move that we would pay up to $50. That would do, or we just, this would also fall, you want it to cover all the employees? I'm trying to think, because we're just dealing with one right now, correct?
Just
Yeah, I would just put it up to $50 for public works employees.
Public works employees that are on their own cell phone plan, how's that?
Right. And that would be for the one that's already on.
Right.
We'd see what his cell phone bill actually is, and
Right.
then, up to $50.
I've already he's brought in the records of his
Oh,
before.
fine, yeah, I'm just
I already
saying,
know.
I didn't know what it was.
Now, each time of the year,
We have a motion.
Yeah, we have a motion. Okay,
go ahead.
so let me clarify, so it would be,
You want to
for
read?
the two now, it would be up to $50
Correct. Yep, reimbursement.
reimbursement.
For two of them a month?
Yes, Adams is paid by the city,
Adams is automatically paid by the city?
because he's on the seating plan.
Okay.
Want to read that back, Chelsea?
I just have that doctor motions to pay up to $50 for public works employees for reimbursement.
That's
So I'll put
for their own plan.
For their own plan.
For their own plans.
Now,
So wait a minute, we have a motion on it.
Okay, I will second that motion,
Okay.
so now we go.
Now we can go ahead, now, sorry.
does it make much of a difference if you're on the city plan or if you're on your own plan? In comparison to money-wise, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the city goes plan through the state or something, right?
The city plan is probably cheaper than what it would be for your own, but they didn't like the cell coverage because they're two different
Oh,
networks.
Okay,
and
okay.
they were getting a lot of
Okay.
their phone calls dropped.
I understand.
So that was the difference.
You answered my question for me. Thank you.
Any other discussion on that? Okay. Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very good.
And then HR will look in, do the research,
Yes.
and come back with recommendation on the others.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Chelsea, you ready? Commission handbook. That would be Keith.
Okay, yeah, so this is a very rough draft of, basically the idea is to have a smooth transition of power and just orientation for new commissioners or even just refreshers, or just a useful tool all in one place. I know other institutions have done like a binder, and this could be maybe through binder, but kind of the thought process behind it is to have a physical and or digital copy. And I emailed it out previously just for informational purposes for you guys to make suggestions here and that sort of stuff. We go through everything, like as a city commissioner, it'd give the different defined roles of the president, vice president, commissioner, board meeting, and just like a guide, a strategy guide, or like tips and tricks for kind of going through meetings. There's stuff about budgeting, governing board meetings, open records, open meetings, home rule charter. conflict of interest, and just little blurbs. And I'm thinking maybe in the future even adding places where you can read more if you want. But that way,
Adding what?
you could add more
Oh,
like
okay.
into links to other websites, whatever it may be. Because then, I mean, no, it's just the way it was. But like when we came on, it was like, you're a commissioner. This is your portfolio. You know, I mean, it was like, I'm gonna figure what that is, you know. And so this will just kind of give you a little anchor or a guide stone to kind of be able to maneuver those waters a little bit better. You know, so that's kind of the idea. And then specifically things for portfolios. So I guess if you wanted to contribute, maybe just things you've done for your individual portfolios. So like if you're on the streets and you see what I kind of just spitballed there, you feel like, oh, by the way, I did 50, 100 hours of this, you know, this just took forever. You know, so then you can put that in there, or who you contacted, or what, just to help people out, you know, with elections coming up and that sort of stuff, and, or even just good uses for ourselves. And I also put like useful ordinances and then links to those, you know, so for like forestry, there's a link to the tree ordinance, you know, you probably know that. But yeah, so that was just kind of the idea. We just talked about it in HR, and then I just wrote something up. So I guess if you have any ideas or anything like that, specifically tell me where it would go or what it would be for, and then I can kind of put it back in there, and then it can kind of snowball into itself, and then we can bring it back, and then hopefully figure some stuff out, and yeah, just get something that'd be helpful. So it wouldn't be like binding, it's just helpful for people. That's all it is.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know, especially for new members coming on, it explains a lot, I think, or helps explain a lot, you know. And there's always questions, you know that, but yeah, I mean, stuff like this, I think is very good to have. It needs some tweaking, but absolutely, very rough draft, but.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I've been fighting the cold for the last, you know, several weeks, but this next month I will look at it. But everybody, you know, read it over. Get our input on this, and you know, let's make it a really good document. So, yeah, I think it's a great start.
Yeah, we can just talk about it more in HR as well. I know Adam and Chelsea are maybe going to talk about putting some stuff in there too, just to be helpful. So
yeah, I like it.
That's all. So no movement or anything. I just wanted to present it a little bit.
Any questions by anybody? Comments?
Nope. Yeah, looks good.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no connections for internet or anything on here, is there?
That'd be a good idea, though. Yeah, in the future, you know, if there's like a
Something additional.
login or something.
Yeah.
I guess if anyone wants to see it, it's public record, so we just
Yeah.
email the office and you can see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff, so.
Granted, it's just a rough draft. So, but
Yeah, it's a rough draft.
very good.
It's like grammatical errors.
No, I think it'll be good. So, we added summer help. I'll put that on right now.
We talked at the last HR meeting. You want to take it, Keith, or you want me to? Okay. Chelsea and I and Keith and Adam get together once a month, and we talked about if we want to start early looking for summer help. So we would like to, I would make a motion that we would advertise for a summer employee and that would put in there also starting at $18 to $20 an hour. That's what we did last year. So that would be my motion.
Second? Oh, okay. HR, second.
Okay, so, you looking at one or two, or?
At this point, we're just looking at one, so.
I would think
I
one,
think will be
that's what I would-
sufficient, so, yep.
So, yeah. No,
I mean, we're
I-
hoping that we get more than one applicant, but we'll hire one, I guess is what.
Yeah, no, very good. So, I don't know. Do we need a motion on that?
I just made it.
Oh, you did.
We had a second.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you did a second.
Yep.
Okay. Further discussion?
No.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. Eric, you might as well come up. The aeration system is next.
Well, good evening, everybody. So you want to talk the aeration system?
That's what's on our,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that first.
We met, I think it was right after last commission meeting, or the week of the last commission meeting in January, to talk about the wastewater lagoon upgrades. So we produced the technical memorandum, and we had the three recommendations were to get the maintenance package for the grinder manhole, dredge the lagoon, and then install a water moving aerator. So those are the three things. I think we talked about the first two things we wanted to do was get some quotes for dredging the lagoon and get the parts for the grinder manhole were the first things we're going to do. So what I propose is that we've already been looking for quotes for dredging the lagoon. We just want to nail down the one guy that we talked about on the dates that he can make it here for getting Washburn's lagoons dredged.
Do you only have one quote?
Just the one, just the one so far is the guy that we talked to. I don't actually have a number from him yet, but that's what we would like to do, and I think we could get that done this summer. What he had indicated is that he could get it on his schedule for this summer.
Okay, and that would be dredging the whole.
Dredging the lagoon, and we proposed doing like we did last time, and that was just depositing what we dredge out of there into the backup cell.
So Eric, excuse me, when you say same method as last time, you were talking in our meeting of this guy that had some type of circular thing. Instead of pulling it out. And with a backhoe, and then as it flows to the top, it would skim it off.
He suspended everything by basically mixing the water up. Suspended all the solids that had settled, and then sucked them up and put them into the lagoon next to it.
So when you say same method as last time, you just mean we're going to put it in the same spot. Because last time it was pulled out with a backhoe, right?
No.
Nope.
It wasn't done the same way.
The same way.
Okay, suction hose or something.
Okay.
Yep. They suspended everything from the bottom and then sucked it out and put it into the cell next to it. And when it all dried out, it really wasn't much there, so we just left it there, and that's more cost-effective solution to doing it. And this guy has a lot of experience with that, so that's the one we're going after right now. But we would follow up with some more quotes potentially, unless we can get the same guy, and that would work out good.
And that seems to work really well.
That's what we learned, I guess.
But last time you only did around the edges, right?
Yeah, I don't think they.
It was a bit different. Last time they drained it and then were sucking off the surface. Basically. So they didn't get all the way down to the bottom. It wasn't perfect, but this is a different person altogether.
But we're going to make sure we get it all this time.
Thanks for clarifying that, because I didn't realize they used that same system last time.
Well, I mean,
or similar
methods, I guess. It wasn't like a backhoe doing mechanical removal of everything.
So if we take the stuff and dump it into that extra pot, do we have to put any sort of a covering over the top of it or coat it or anything, or it would just?
No. There's a lot of material there. We could look at hauling it off.
Okay.
But last time there wasn't a lot.
After it dries.
I'm thinking that there would be more this time, but you never know
just
until we
asking
actually do
to
it.
see.
So, but that aerator would be pulled off to do that work. And then hopefully in the meantime, that grinder manhole could get maintenance, and then those two things first, and then look at the aerator, I would say. So
look at the grinder and the dredging, like for this year.
Yep.
And then maybe next year we'll see aerator.
Yeah, unless we get after it and we say, let's get that one in. Maybe we order the aerator this year and get it installed next year. I don't know the lead times on that, but that could be a little bit too.
Right.
But I propose that Adam handle the grinder manhole maintenance package. I can help provide a contact information of who we can call to take care of that. But I'll work with Adam on that.
Okay.
He'd be the lead on that, and then I would take the dredging portion. So
sounds good to me. Water guys?
And I don't need a motion or anything like that from you guys.
I don't believe you do.
Because we're going to rebuild that grinder. Is what we're looking.
Yeah, we'll rebuild it. Adam will get the parts and have the guy come out and install them. So.
Okay, sounds good.
I got kind of a dumb question probably, but on that second lagoon, is it usable?
It's usable. It's a backup. So if we were to have, that one for some reason would overflow, or we couldn't pump it out fast enough, it could go into that one next, and then worst case scenario, they both fill up, and then we'd have to do emergency release, which you'd have to let the state know. But if there's nothing we can do about it, then you can do that. But yeah.
Just a kind of another dumb question. I mean, for $64,000, what would it take to put a Y in, and then either Y it to one lagoon or the other?
So there's a bypass.
And then instead of dredging it, let the one dry out and use the other one and then switch back and forth. And then you wouldn't have to pay the dredging, then you could just let it dry out and it's kind of the same.
Because you're gonna have to remove all the solids eventually, you know.
But once it dries out, could you go in and scoop it out?
You could do it that way if you wanted to, but that's still gonna be a cost too.
Right,
Yeah.
but it should be cheaper than dredging, you know, shouldn't it, or?
I don't know how we would get it over to that other lagoon though. It
Well,
goes through the first
there's a
one.
bypass in there today.
No,
That's what I understand.
it can't go straight to number 2, well, the second, I call it 1A, I guess. There's one in 1A, 1A is a standby, there's no direct line to 1A, there's a direct line through 1, and then to the,
So it's gotta go to 1 to 1A, it can't go, I
correct.
thought we had a bypass.
No,
there.
we have a bypass that goes straight into the lift station.
But what if we looked at getting a quote to put a bypass in to send it to the second one?
We certainly could do that.
I'm not sure if it drains from the second one into the lift station or not, because that lift station didn't exist when it was in use.
Yeah, it used to go from the one and then
One
to
to two,
1A
then
and then into the
discharge.
river, I mean, many years
Yeah,
ago.
and then they installed the lift station, then they went straight to just number 1.
So
lift station.
you would need a bypass from straight to 1A and then 1A to the lift station.
That's what you would need.
You would need both of those things.
Because, I mean, if you're gonna, it was what, 30,000 last time, how many years ago? Now it's 60.
Or 10, 15 years ago, I suppose,
So every 10, 15, you're gonna drop 60 grand.
potentially.
This might be financially worth it to look at that, to, you know, I mean, to at least get a quote and see what that costs to do.
How much do we accumulate, do you think, in solids since the last time we did this, you say 15 years ago? There would be quite a mass of solids on the bottom there then?
Well, in the past 15 years, the usage of non-dispersables, as they're called, has gone way up. And so
Like the wipes you're talking.
the wipes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
anything else. And that's where we're seeing that problem with our aerator,
Mhm.
and that's why we're pursuing this. And the clogging of the aerator has been worse than it's ever been. We couldn't keep it running for more than a couple days.
So the dredging would be a positive way of looking at it then?
Yes.
Yeah, it's essential maintenance
Okay.
to dredge it out. Yeah, and it's something that you have to, if you're gonna have a lagoon, you have to do this.
You have to dredge.
Yes. And it just really depends on the load to the system, how many non-disposables are being used in the system, what kind of headworks or basket catch system you might have on the front end of before it gets to the lagoon. Also, will have an effect. And there really isn't much in Washburn system. We have the grinder manhole, but that's just gonna make the bigger pieces smaller. You're still gonna have, no matter what you do, you're gonna have some solids in your lagoons.
You're gonna have
No
to
way
get the
around it.
solids out in order to not run into trouble going forward then.
Well, yeah, to keep your lagoons at the capacity they need to be, and if you have equipment like an aerator to keep that thing running smoothly, you're gonna have to do this every once in a while.
Okay.
Yep. So, but I mean, I can most certainly look at a bypass to 1A and a bypass from 1A to the lift station, if that's something that the city wants me to do.
Because wouldn't we basically be achieving basically what they're doing dredging by just switching back and forth lagoons? I mean,
Well, you still gotta remove the solids.
Still have to-
Right.
Every
But
time
still
you
gotta come out.
switch it, yeah.
but what would that, I mean, what would that look like? I mean, would it be, once it dried out, would it be able to go in there with a payloader or skid steer and,
I suppose you could. Unless
You'd
you
have
let
to
it
be
dry
very
out.
careful because there is I'm sure a bentonite base in there. You don't want to get rutted
Right.
up, but you're
You
really.
probably can't drive things into it without ruining the clay layer. Backhoes, yes, you could.
yeah, or even like an extended,
Yeah.
or bigger hole and bring that out, just throw it in dump truck, haul it out. Wouldn't, that could probably save quite a bit of money if that's every 15 years.
Yeah, historically though, I mean, that second lagoon, or that second in-town lagoon has been used when the pumps would go down. So you'd have a place for the thing to go. Also, we had a break in the forced main line, you know. And so that, I mean, that's when it was used, you know, and I really think, you know, if you route it to the second lagoon, it's gonna take a long time for that first one to dry out.
I guess I would
It'll
personally,
take very long.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would personally like to leave it the way it's designed right now, because as we've looked at this, you know, with you and with Don and everything, leave it as it is designed now as a backup lagoon, and go with just my opinion, and go with this plan, because I don't think by the time we do all this delving and everything else, we're gonna save that much. Plus, we've been trying to find a contractor to do dredging now for over a year, and I don't wanna back that up any farther, because this thing needs to be dredged, you know? And so, by the time you guys would come back with an alternative plan, I don't know where that would push us down the road with lining this guy up to dredge it, but
We could
Yeah.
use both.
Yeah.
We could look at the price of
I
it.
could parallel them together. If you,
so you could do that in a short order type.
there's some things I gotta get after here, for you guys, so yeah, that's something I can put on my priority list to get
Okay.
back to you guys. And,
Okay, I have another question for you, not to interrupt you then. Getting rid of the solids out of those ponds, we have to dump them in a specific spot then that's legal to dump that kind of stuff into, you know what I'm saying?
Right, so for lagoons, you'll do a land, you can do put it on like on a farmer's field for fertilizing. You could do that, or you gotta properly dispose of it. And if you move it to city property into the back of lagoon, that would be okay to do. So either do a land application or you properly dispose of it. So yes, you gotta.
I'm really thinking nobody's gonna want it on their land because of all the measles and everything else
Yeah.
that goes in there.
No, yeah.
I guess what I'm thinking is, you know, maybe dredge now and look at doing the bypass next, you know, for future. I mean, it's something we have to take care of now, you know. I mean, if we're gonna dredge around it, is that gonna put us back another year or two? You know?
Like I said, we can do a parallel,
Yeah.
parallel each one of those efforts and
Yeah, if you wanna do
look
that,
at
would
that
be great.
cost and let you guys know what we find out for that, and then keep getting after the guy to do the dredging.
Plus, you don't have the quote from him anyway yet, so.
I don't have that, but that's something that Jasper and
Okay, so,
Zach were working on.
yeah, so maybe we got them both for next meeting.
Next meeting?
That's March.
Month away.
March
Okay.
11th.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
So, okay, so then Adam's gonna work on the grinder thing then, right?
Yeah, and I'll work with Adam on that, but he'll have the lead on that. I have a contact because we just replaced a grinder manhole in Newtown, and I can get Adam that contact information.
Is there any further discussion on this before we move on to
Nope, we're
the
good.
rest of Eric? Okay,
Yep, we're gonna check on the rest of it.
okay, Eric. Now you're up.
Okay, so 2024 street and drainage improvements project. So the DOT Flex Fund grant, we submitted that at the end of December, and we're expecting news on that award around March timeframe. So maybe by next meeting we'll know if we got that grant. The other thing that Chelsea was talking to Abby about was that FEMA hazard mitigation fund.
Mhm.
The hazard mitigation fund is a loan at 1% interest for a 20-year term. So you can't get a better loan than that. That beats SRF even. So what we got to do for that, and Abby's already done it, is she's said, yep, submitted the form, yeah, we're interested in that. It gets you on like the intended use plan, which is what I guess I would compare it to the intended use plan of SRF, so that whenever the city would get a project, you would say, okay, we're on the plan to apply for this loan, we want to do that now. So that it doesn't commit the city to anything, but now you're on the list basically to get that loan if you want it. And what we would use this for is that street and drainage improvement project that we're looking at doing.
Up at Heritage Heights.
Yeah, at Heritage Heights, yep. So, is there any questions on the DOT Flex Grant or the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Fund loan?
No.
Okay. So those are good options to help, get some infrastructure projects done. So, Chelsea, thanks for pointing that out to us, because I was not aware of it until you had mentioned it, so it's a good thing.
Thanks for helping.
Yeah, absolutely. PRV replacement, so that's the other thing that I got to get to you guys, and I owe that to you yesterday. But the concept, design, and cost estimate for the PRV project, promise that I'll have that to you guys next time we meet. I will send it to you as soon as I have it. So we're still working on that. So I apologize that I don't have anything for you this meeting.
So that has to be contractor installed, correct?
The PRV?
PRV?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, for sure. And then just for a little more information on that, Don, so there's two PRVs in town. Actually, there might be more than two, but the two spots where Zone 1 and Zone 2 meet, there's one on 4th Avenue, 4th Street, 4th Avenue, and then one up by the old water tower, by the school. That's where the higher pressure zone and the lower pressure zone meet. So those valves, those PRVs, we want to look at replacing if we're going to be taking that water tower offline. That's the reason behind that. Any questions on that, you guys? Okay, so I owe that to you guys. I'll get back to you on it. Next thing is lead and copper revision rule. So the technical assistance project for that, we have completed our records review. We had a lot of them already because we've been working with the city for so long. So and we have a really good working knowledge of the city's GIS. So we have completed that, and what we're looking at doing is mailing out the survey letters this Thursday. So just a couple days away. That survey letter, everyone will get in the mail, and it'll have a website on there, a link, or in a QR code that we need every resident to go ahead and click on, and they need to use a smartphone or tablet to complete this survey. And the reason behind that is that we need to have a picture of every service line for this inventory. Okay? The DEQ is requiring that we have picture or photo evidence of each service line. So I know that typically surveys, you're only going to get 15-20%. That's a pretty good response rate for a survey, is like 20%. So that's what I've seen that we've gotten so far on other projects that we've worked on, or other communities that we've been helping with the lead and copper revision rule. So like I said, we have a phone number that anybody can call when they get the survey, say, hey, help me with the survey. We have people at A2S that will answer the phone and help them walk them through that survey. And I know that Adam has said that he would help out too if we can't walk them through it, over the phone, that if there's somebody that's needing assistance, Adam said that they would be able to help some, but doesn't mean that Adam's going to be doing that 24/7 either. So we've had these surveys open the plan is to have it open for 30 days, and then we'll close the survey and we'll gather that additional data and update the service line inventory again. And then we'll get that all tidied up and sent to the state. So the first step for the lead and copper revision rule is just understanding what materials we have for the service lines. Okay, so hopefully not a lot of lead. What we've tracked in Washburn over the years is, there's a low number, 10, 15 lead service lines. But
Is there a certain age range of houses that you start using?
yes. So I'll say that the EPA put out the lead ban in 1986, and January 1st of 88 is when North Dakota put it into law in our state. So anything that was installed after January 1st of 1988 is non-lead. And the DEQ, the state, North Dakota will accept that if it's a building that's younger than that, okay, it's non-lead.
Right.
So we're really looking at homes that are older than that.
Sure.
So we can try to focus on those ones. And
Was there a certain age range that was a practice?
Yeah, so lead was used way back in the 20s. It was used a lot in the 30s and 40s, especially when there was a lower, copper was being used in the war effort a lot.
Sure.
So there was a shortage of that, so they were using a lot more lead around those times. And then they got into copper service lines again, but then they were using lead solder, so that was another thing. before we got to like the compression fittings for the copper pipe. So those are all things we got to track. We got to know if it's what the material is. Is it lead? Is it copper? Is it copper with lead solder? Is it regular copper with compression fittings? Is it galvanized? Is it plastic? We got to know. So
Lead solder makes a big difference too then?
yeah, that contributes. That would be a contributing factor to lead in your water. Yeah, could be.
And this is just the service line in to the
Yeah,
meter?
this is from the water main to 18 inches into the home.
Okay.
That's what we're concerned with. Now the plumbing inside the home, that's not what we're focused on. And somebody might argue, well, what's the good of taking care of this service line now I have lead fixtures inside my home? Okay, well, you know, you're going to get, it's been proven in studies that your service line is going to contribute a lot more to your lead levels in your water, drinking water, than the fixtures in your home, just because it's a long service line that you would get more lead that could get into it. So
More
Not-
exposure.
yeah, more exposure to it. Yep. So any questions on that? So expect the letters in the mail maybe as early as Friday, I suppose. People could be getting them, but for sure Monday. So we'll be ready to take calls. You probably will be getting calls. It happens every time that they'll call the city. So just to expect that, but I apologize.
I'm guessing they're gonna get quite a few calls.
Please refer them to us and the number that's on the survey. They can call us. We have our lines. I think we have it on there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
So, and they can call us really anytime. So
We
we
could
have
update
like
that
5 or
too.
6 people that are taking the phone calls. So
Okay.
So you don't want us to broadcast your cell number then?
I would prefer not my cell number, although I've used my cell phone to handle for other communities that when somebody's really struggling.
We'll leave that up.
Yeah, would prefer that, but yeah.
Okay.
We will. I would much rather go through the effort now because, and not take it too far into the weeds with this, but the more that we know now, the better. Because if we have it as unknown, then the state treats it as lead.
Okay.
So that's just going to cause more headache for the city later on if
Right.
it's marked as unknown. So we don't want to do that.
Better off to be accurate.
Any questions on that?
2023 project, nothing right now. We are just waiting on spring, although it feels almost like it's spring outside, but when the contractor will come back and do the seeding and restoration work, and then we'll wrap that project up. That'll be next year.
And there'll be some corrections to problems they had when they installed it initially.
Yep, so we're still under the warranty period, right? So we'll be looking at everything this spring and this summer if there's anything we need to fix. And Tim's favorite, he's been waiting for all night, the update on the equipment purchasing. So there is nothing that, after talking to League of Cities, there is the 200K limit for bidding a public improvements project, right? There is not anything in the Century Code that says for equipment purchasing. Okay. Now, I recommend you talk to David.
Yeah.
He can tell you better than me because he's a lawyer, so he should know that stuff better than me. But nothing that I can find. And when we talked to the League of Cities, that document that you looked at,
Right.
it was an example policy,
Okay.
not the policy.
That's what I was wondering.
And there is municipalities that adopt procurement policies.
Right.
Now, Washburn doesn't have a procurement policy.
No.
The one caveat that the lady from the League of Cities said is if you're getting federal money and you're using that for equipment purchases, you probably should have a procurement policy.
Right.
Probably. So I will leave that to you guys, and if you guys want to talk to David about that, most certainly recommend you do that. I'm not saying that you guys have to have a procurement policy.
I think the biggest thing is that when if you're bidding something new, it's relatively simple because you spec something new and then they meet their spec.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something used to fit the bill, you have to kind of take sometimes what you get. That's impossible to bid. But to know what the dollar threshold was the thing. So,
Yeah, and I couldn't find anything that tied you guys down on that.
Okay.
But
Yep.
I did talk with David last year when we first talked about this, and
Yeah.
he didn't know of anything, and he
Okay.
said, as far as he knew, that 200,000
Right.
probably was it. So.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
so
thanks for checking on that. Thanks.
Absolutely.
And thanks
Yep.
Abby for that too.
I will let her know.
So I have a question for you, Eric,
Yeah.
Michael. So I talked to you about the slide array in Riverside Park.
Yes.
You said you might get a hold of Terracon if you get time, or did you get a chance to
Yeah,
call them at all?
so what they said is they'll need to look at, doing some bores, if that's something that they wanna do to show a little bit better information. I know what we talked about too is on the intake project, we're pursuing that on the Wash City side of the river. They had showed a model where what could happen if it did slide, because we were looking at doing a retaining wall there.
Right.
So, yeah, so, they would need to gather some data for that. I didn't get quotes or nothing like that from them, but I can chat with them about that. If that's something that you guys want to do.
So what I'm wondering is that something we want to wait till spring or summer? You know, I guess that's my question is, you know, obviously we're gonna have to be testing something.
Yeah.
You know,
It might, I mean, honestly, it might be better if you wait till spring or summertime
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of.
they're not as busy right now, but I mean, geez, it still had, they were 4 weeks out when I had them go do the last job I had them do, and that was
Right.
last month. Well, and it was December when I contacted them. They didn't get out there till mid-January. So they are still busy, but I mean,
Yeah.
we're not in a super big rush to find out, you know, like
No,
everything's.
it's getting worse as
Yeah.
the time goes on. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm just hoping that a big chunk of the pavement doesn't go down.
Yeah. I can talk to them about quotes and what their schedule looks like and get back to you too.
Yeah, you know, at least a starting point, you know, I think that would be a good move.
Absolutely.
And if I may ask, what was the retaining wall you were talking about? Was that a previous?
That
project
was
we were going
something
to
that
do?
we didn't end up doing.
Oh, okay. But it was
So we
previous
were
project,
gonna
okay.
do the intake project and have the new intake near the existing one. And part of that project was, you know, having that pump station and caisson on the hillside like the old one, or the existing one is. And we didn't end up doing that. And then we went to go to the other side of the river, and we didn't end up doing
I remember that
either.
part.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I did-
that was like going back in
Yeah.
history. That was like 2017 probably.
Yeah,
when we
okay,
were
yeah.
doing that.
I remember chapter 6 and not chapter 5. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would have been pretty expensive to put that in, but
Yeah.
it would have been, I mean, there's pluses and minuses. I won't go into the details on that, but not having to cross the river at least, but then we ended up having to do it anyway. So,
Anything else for Eric?
No, thanks, Eric.
okay, thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, Eric. Yep. Portfolio. And
Just one here, Keith can help me out with this too. In our policy book it says, training is provided as needed to maintain and improve performance skills. Training must be approved in advance by city commission. We're looking at changing that and giving the latitude to the office and Adam to set up training, because a lot of times this training might come up in between our meetings, and it's kind of more of a housekeeping item. So we'll come back next month. We'll discuss it again in HR. We'll come back this month with the language, either take it all out or change the language or whatever. But I think this is kind of cumbersome, you know,
Yeah.
and actually a little bit too much into micromanaging of what they could be doing easily without us.
Yeah, you come back with a recommendation for a policy.
Right, so we'll come back with that. And then Adam did get some quotes today, I believe, on sewer jet machines.
Oh.
So Adam and Chelsea and Don and myself will be getting together as, you know, sewer committee again, because we want to discuss water towers and a number of other things, you know, coming up this summer. So we want to,
Perfect.
yep.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at those quotes too,
All right.
to replace our 50-year-old machine or whatever it is. So. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep, so we'll be doing that and come back with a report and hopefully a recommendation by next month.
Okay, thank you.
So, yep.
Jerry?
You're quiet here, so
Okay.
it was just that thing that I talked about and what he talked about. So.
Nothing. Made it easy. Don?
Still no word on our planning and zoning for the county. Wind Tower people haven't said anything yet about having a meeting.
That's what I was gonna ask you after the wind tower.
Yeah, and they didn't have anything in January and nothing in February here, and something's going on there, but nobody seems to know what.
Okay, very good. Is that it? I have nothing. Chelsea? Or, excuse me, reports from city personnel.
I guess, yeah, I just wanted to mention, we did update our website today and put on some information about the lead and copper letter that will be sent out, and that's on there. Please respond. It will be coming from them, but it's beneficial to the city. Cleanup week has been scheduled. It will be May 20th through the 24th with curbside on the 25th. We are looking to change our city website with that as well. We have applied for a .gov website. We should hear back in March for, I believe, when, if we get approved. We will not switch it over, it'll filter through, but just, I guess, for food for thought reference, we'll look at switching our emails and the website over to a .gov.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, it's just better.
It's free.
Didn't we
And
just
that-
redo our web stuff?
The website will stay the same.
He's about the
Yeah.
domain, so like when you type it into the thing,
Oh, gotcha.
the last part of it. It looks more official. You
So
know,
it would be a .gov instead of a .com?
yeah. Or whatever it is. Is it Word right now?
It's .gov.
It's .com right now.
Or ours is .com right now, yeah.
So that would the only thing change, be a .gov and then basically be the same website?
It was, yeah, it was
Yeah.
directly to the same website. Yep.
I
Yep.
see.
And then if someone typed in the old website, it would still go if you redirect to our current website. Yeah.
Okay.
At least for a year or so.
Yeah, okay. And it's free, huh?
It's free.
That's what the state and everybody else uses.
All right.
It is an election year, so for the city of Washburn, the president is up for re-election, and there are 2 commissioner spots that are up for re-election as well. On the park board, there are 2 4-year terms, and there are 2 2-year unexpired terms. So there'll be 4 positions total on the park board ballot. Those are due by April 8th. The city will be closed next Monday for President's Day. That does include open walk. If the city is closed, open walk is closed as well. There will be no open walk this Thursday from 8 to 12:30 as the hall is being rented for an event. Otherwise, it will be reopened in the afternoon.
Did you put a note on the door, right?
Yeah, we just did it this afternoon, so the note will go up tomorrow. I just wanted to make sure it was stated today.
Sure.
And there are still 2 planning and zoning vacancies to be filled, so if anybody's interested in that.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Chelsea.
Yes.
When you put out these notices for the hall being closed and stuff, have we ever thought about putting maybe a plaque board or something near the entrance to the memorial building, letting people know as they're maybe walking by that the hall's going to be closed on such and such a day, rather than putting it on a social media type thing, or with social media besides, but something that could be physically on the outside of it?
We hang a thing that says no open walk on the door.
I know, but something other than on the door. You know, maybe off to the side or something. You know what I mean?
Talking like a little bulletin board or what?
Yeah, like a little bulletin board that's outside.
So you'd have to have something enclosed.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that would be scary enough that the wind wouldn't destroy that.
Right, it'd have to be anchored down pretty good, but
Something to think about maybe.
On the outside of the building?
yeah,
Okay.
just as a, you know, not everybody looks on websites all the time when the things are open and closed. It's nice to see something on the outside saying the hall's gonna be closed on such and such a day or whatever.
Well, I know when there is something, they hang it on the door like as many days as possible beforehand, you know, so that, you know, the walkers and everybody knows it's gonna be closed. We can look into it.
Just a suggestion.
I don't know, we could think about that.
Post it on the post office bulletin board.
It's right there,
everyone goes
Yeah,
It's an idea.
just make a sign for up there.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
I believe that's all I had for my list.
Adam?
Okay, so trying something a bit different here. Just to kind of keep you guys updated on what's going on in the public works section. We're gonna start this report every month. My goal is not to sit here and talk about what the public works has been doing for a half hour. Good. But if you have any questions, we can talk after another day, but this is just to kind of keep you up to date on what's happening. That's just kind of the aim of it anyway. And if you have any questions now, you can ask them.
I read through it really great. I liked it.
Oh, and if there's anything else you want to see in it, let me know.
Oh, I
Add
got
more
it.
things. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Keep us informed on what's going on.
So that water main break that you had there on.
Yep.
Tim told me a little bit about it, but, what kind of patch did you put on there again?
We used 2 Hymaxes, which are couplers, and a chunk of PVC pipe that connected up to the existing cast pipe. It just patches it together.
And that's normal procedure for
Yep.
repairing a line like
That
that?
is the ideal procedure, yeah.
Okay.
I've been using those for many years.
Yep. On, if there was like a crack or whatever, we might just put like a sleeve on it, but this one was a full-on break, so.
I see it only took 5 hours, so it must have been a pretty quick repair then?
It went pretty well. Yep, despite how cold it was, we had the box, we had, everything went ideally, I guess you could say.
When it's 20 below, you work as fast as you
Yeah,
can.
that too, yeah.
You want to be in the hole because it's warmer. in there.
It is warmer in home, yeah.
So how many people actually worked on it? All 3 of you?
All 3 of us, Chris, Trustbeck, we had a back truck there for about 20 minutes. So all in all, about 5, 6, 7 people. Yeah.
That's a problem area. There's been many breaks there over the years.
Yeah, it's one of the few existing cast mains we've got left. So we're probably going to see more of that in the future. But
Anything else?
Nope.
Bill,
I would move that we would pay the bills.
Second.
any questions on the bills? Tim?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Next meeting, March 11th at 6 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. You have a great rest of the week and meeting adjourned.
See you.